Gotta find the thread now.
It's been, I think it was archived. A lot of this stuff we were looking at talking about was happening in between the weeks that we missed there. So, but I think what we'll have to do is with last week's episode, we'll just have them back on, and then we'll do like a part 1, part 2, and release them.
Sure.
Yeah, because I think right now...
You think there's enough for part 2?
Yeah, I think we can talk about anything realistically. I think just having them on and just shooting the shit about anything else that comes up or comes to mind is probably the way to go. Yeah, funny, like right in the middle of shooting that, Ash was like, I need you like right meow. So I was like, okay, well, what's going on? So I went upstairs and she's like writhing in pain on the bathroom floor. Went to the hospital, and it ended up being a kidney stone, actually. So it was like we were in the hospital for like 15 and a half hours, something like that. Just,
Jesus.
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, we were in waiting room for 5.5 or something like that, and then we were waiting to see the doc and whatever for another 5 and a bit after that, and then they finally got her to CT, and by the time we left, we were at 15 and a half hours, something stupid.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you know why? Because you didn't go in by ambulance. If
Well,
you go in by ambulance, you go straight into the back and you're good to go.
Well, apparently the thing is with the ambulance right now, it's like a 5-hour wait to get an ambulance, 5 to 6 hour wait to get an ambulance right now in my town. So it wouldn't have mattered.
Because they're all in Ottawa.
Probably they're all not here. I don't know.
That's one of the biggest complaints here in Ottawa right now, is that Ottawa paramedics are so busy that they can't go to calls. So they keep going out further to get an ambulance to respond to an Ottawa call. So we'll have Arnprior ambulances responding to calls in Canada and Bell's Corners and stuff like that. Then we'll have a Carleton Place ambulance responding to Arnprior, and so on and so forth. So by the time it gets way the hell out to where you guys are, they're responding to calls. Your ambulances are responding to calls like a half hour, 45 minutes south towards Ottawa.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I could see that being the case. I mean, around here there were some people in there that didn't need to be in there. Some people that could have been like, had they called like VTAC in the morning. Like, I don't know about you guys, but we've got like a virtual triage clinic that we can call. So like they're like, some of these people could all call that. We had one person, she walked in, she must have overdosed or something like that, because she walked in and the nurse gave her like 2 needles straight off the bat. And my wife was like in agony, and she was not like, she wasn't, you know, making noise or anything. This woman just came in and she was like overly loud, like everybody in like the floor could hear this woman being like, oh god, oh blah blah blah, like kept on doing this. And I'm like, my wife just turns to me and is just like, can you just kill her please? I'm like, no. I'm like, it was just funny, but I'm glad. Not a fun experience to say the least. I don't see, judging by her experience, 10 of 10 would not suggest having kidney stones. Definitely not.
No, I've had kidney stone before. It is not fun. I was in so much pain. Mine was in my lower right back, and I was in so much pain that the ambulance crew requested to push morphine in the ambulance en route to the hospital that was only 10 minutes away.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then when I got there, they gave me more.
Have some more. Here, have more morphine. Yeah. Enjoy the morphine.
They injected the morphine in, and I immediately threw up.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ash was trying to take Advil, and she was just puking it up. She's like, no, this ain't happening, not happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I figure I'll edit out I'll edit that video, and we can push up part 1, part 2, and come out. Into another week of My Bourbon's older teammate. Thank you to our 2 new subscribers. We're slowly climbing the ladder to 1,000.
It's appreciated.
It is couple subscribers at a time, just slowly make our way up there. Yeah, it's funny you talk about diet this week. Yeah, no, this week it's been really interesting. I started taking they're called BCAAs. They're basically an amino acid protein supplement. Mm-hmm. And I took them around after I took them post workout, so in the early afternoon, and by the time I got to dinner, I was stuffed still. I was like, still felt completely and utterly full. I don't know why. So I had like really small dinners both last night and tonight after having them during the day. So I don't know if that's a side effect of the BCAAs or if they're meant to make you feel more full or something like that. But I was like, we went to a friend's house for dinner tonight. I'm like, honestly, just give me like a quarter of the portion you gave the kids, because I don't feel hungry at all right now. So, So it was interesting. But yeah, we've had last time we were recording, I went to the hospital with Ash, and then Ronan fell 2 days later and looked like he was holding his arm like it was broken. So I had to take him to the hospital and get him x-rays. And then...
Okay. But everything was fine?
Everything was fine. He didn't have a broken arm. The kid was like pushing himself out of his chair. But we had to make sure, because the last time we had a broken arm, which was a broken arm, we were like, oh, it's fine, just go to sleep, you'll be okay. And then the next day she's like, my arm's still sore, and it was like swollen. We're like, okay, we need to go hospital now. So we're like, we're gonna be overly cautious this time. We'll take you to the hospital first. And then on top of that, on Tuesday, 2 days ago, Tuesday, Ronan gets hit in the head with a basketball at school, and I have to take him to the hospital again, but for concussion protocol.
You guys are gonna have CAS coming to the house.
Oh my god, it was so bad. I was just like, oh, this is ridiculous. So, but the school requires you. So apparently, it's a new law that when there's a suspected concussion, you actually have to take them to the hospital, or you have to sign off to the school that we did not take them to the hospital because we believe there's no concussion, and you have to tell and give that to the school and say, hey, this is how we feel. Or you go and you get them checked out, and then they have a concussion protocol going back to school. Kid's not allowed to do gym for a week. He can't bounce, and he's got to be kept out of other things. And we're like,
really?
And it's a law. It's actually, apparently it's law now that Ontario came out with, and they're like,
I know over the last couple of years that, well, a few years, I guess it's been a little bit, but kids have been like passing out during practices and stuff like that, only to find out that they've had a concussion for a hit they took a week before. Hockey's been bad for that, obviously. Football too. Some high schools are apparently playing rugby, so I mean it's there too. But apparently they've gotten into a lot of trouble. They've gotten a lot of lawsuits, so they're probably just in their way preventing that.
Yeah, I think that's what it could be, something along those lines, just to keep people in check and making sure that the kid's okay and all that fun stuff that comes with having a concussion, right?
Yeah.
So it was really weird. Yeah, so that's been my week. I've been in and out of the hospital for the last week and a half now. I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so sick of the hospital. I don't ever want to go back. But we talked a little bit before we started recording about diet this week. Have you attempted the mud water again, or are you still like, oh, no way, I'm not doing this?
No, I probably won't go back to it. I'll probably see if my buddy wants it, because he drinks a lot of garbage for his weight management program, or his gym program, as he likes to call it. So I might let him have a go at it, see what he wants to do, if he likes it or not. However, you were talking about something there for your hunger suppression stuff. Whatever it was B somethings.
BCAAs,
BCAs.
yeah, they're amino acids. It's basically an amino acid supplement that provides protein and stuff like that.
Okay. I had a meeting with my weight management doctor. What is it? A week and a half ago, I guess, and she has prescribed me something called Saxenda, Saxenda.
Okay.
And that's basically what it does.
Oh, okay.
So she wants to try and give me some sort of prescription appetite suppressant.
That's interesting. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. BCAAs are the branched chain amino acids. So sure. Like, whatever that actually means, I'm not exactly sure. But they're just basically like another way to get protein into your workout.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people that swear by them, that they're like, yeah, okay, these really work for me, and I'm, I don't feel any discomfort after a workout, like, when you get sore muscles from workouts, stuff like that. They're like, I don't feel any of that. So I was like, I mean, what's the worst thing? I try it. It seems like there is enough research to say that it's not a terrible thing to do. I mean, got to change things up every once in a while as well. So I'll give it a try to start and see what ends up happening. So I'm not sure. It doesn't taste too bad, but it on the bottle it actually says that it does suppress appetite a little bit. So I'm wondering if that's what the thing is that it's suppressing my appetite. Like, a lot of people take them during workout. The problem is the time I would take them during my workout, like, is a 6 a.m. class. I'm still fasting at that time. I'm like, not really ready to break my fast at 6 a.m. So I'll figure something out and see if they actually work and see if I like taking them. But
oh my gosh.
Oh.
So I pulled up a website on that drug, and they're like, learn about Saxenda for teens, and it's saying indicated use for use in teens 12 to 17 years with a body weight above 132 pounds. I was in the military at 17, and I was 180 pounds at 17.
Yeah, but a different 180 pounds.
Well, yeah, but they're saying 132 pounds for a 12 to 17-year-old is on the verge of being overweight.
It depends on the size, though, too, right? I mean, at 18, 17, if you're 180 pounds and you're muscle and you're working a job where you're lifting or you're doing military work, right? That is an 180 pounds. That is normal weight, realistically.
I never would have considered myself overweight at all. Wouldn't have known that was considered overweight.
I mean, at 18,
crazy.
17, 18, I was like 110 pounds soaking wet. So I didn't start gaining weight until, I don't know, my early 20s.
Yeah.
When it was kind of someone like flipped a switch where I went from being 110 pounds up until when I started college, and then all of a sudden I hit 20 or whatever, and it was like a switch, and I was like 210 pounds all of a sudden out of nowhere.
Mine was promotion. As soon as I became a supervisor, I wasn't doing as much walking around, and that's when my weight slowly started to creep up. I went to a couple of months after my promotion, I realized I was over 200. I was around 220. I was 220 for the longest time, and then probably once I became a manager, then it went up again.
Yeah. It's usually the way it goes, right? Once you become a little less active, once you stop moving around so much, that's usually what triggers a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, level of activity for a lot of people goes down in general, even, on top of having kids and all that kind of stuff. I mean, at the end of my military career, I was hovering around 220 as well. And I mean, I was 5'10", right? So 220 for a 5'10" is quite heavy. But now I'm sitting around 190, just under 190, I think. So I've come down 30 pounds in the last. I really have to manage what I eat. I think, and that is probably the hardest thing for me because I love food. Like, people are like, oh, I just eat food because I just need food, you know, sustenance, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I like food. I like to eat food. You know, like, that's the one thing I think I've always, food has always been my one thing. So trying to eat fairly healthy is always has been a challenge for me. But I mean, I think I'm kind of at the point where really I found after doing the 48-hour fast, I find my appetite is quite a bit less than it was before that, which is, I don't know how much that is to the effect of it, but I feel that way. I mean, I also don't drink a whole lot anymore either, right? Like we had Thanksgiving with friends last week on Sunday, and I had like my first time I've had 2 drinks back to back in forever, like probably 6 months.
I wish I could blame mine on alcohol. I don't really drink at all ever. Even I mean, I was at my parents for Thanksgiving and the in-laws for Thanksgiving, and I had 1 drink at my my in-laws' place.
Yeah.
Oh, two small drinks at dinner. Really would have been 1 drink.
I mean, then you got like cortisol levels and stuff like that, stress and all the other factors that come into that. Yeah. Just, you know, being a manager, having, you know, kids, all that kind of fun stuff. Like, I mean, once you have kids, cortisol levels, like, whoo. Like, no. I don't have to care about just myself now. Oh, that sucks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and the hardest thing is becoming more active once you're more sedentary too, right? Is having that, getting into something, especially once you have kids, you want to focus your time on keeping your kids busy and making sure they're doing all their things and all that kind of stuff. You kind of put yourself to the wayside, and you kind of, you know, when you have downtime, your downtime's going to be, you know, sitting down and actually trying to relax and recover from everything you've had to do, you know, all that running around. So that is it's one of those fun things about being a parent. Lots of interesting stuff coming around this last couple of weeks. I mean, do we start with the biggest news of all? I mean, the biggest, most baddest news of all?
Well, I mean, there's a whole whackload of that, so...
Okay, I mean, well, at least I'm talking about is the 4090 release finally. Or not finally, but actually released, and now we're starting to see some FPS reviews coming out, and more people are talking about I think Jack Frags did a video, you know, 4090 from the point of view of a guy that actually games, and I'm like, apt title, definitely works for sure. It's interesting to see where things are sitting with the frames per second, especially since I game in 4K. Like, it's,
for sure.
It's definitely interesting to see where it's coming from, and where it's like just crazy the amount of FPS that are coming out from the 4090.
So it's the numbers that they presented was accurate?
It seems like most people are saying that they are pretty close. Like, there was one video I looked at for the benchmarks earlier today, and it was like with DLSS 3 on, it was like 192 frames per second at 4K. Like, just insanity coming out. Trying to find it. Can't Can't remember what the guy's name is. But he was showing some FPS graphics from what it's actually coming out as. Let's see if I can find some. See if I can find a couple of the images that actually came out recently. Oh man. Oh, that's 3D score, and that's the one that we've already looked at.
Mm-hmm.
But relative performance, that must be an nVidia graphic right there. You're getting 4 times the performance out of your car. Like,
conveniently placed.
Yeah, even this Watch Dogs Legion graphic here, 180 FPS with DLSS on, like average FPS coming out at 1440p.
4K.
No, that's at 1440.
Oh, 4 feet. Okay.
I'll see if I can find the video, but I can't remember what the guy's name was. There he is. Daniel Owen. This is one of the guys I follow and watch. From his, I'm just going to mute this tab. Oh no, it's muted already. Let's see. Once our fun ads are done and out of the way. Yeah, here we go. This is the graphic I was looking for from Daniel on YouTube. If you guys are looking for some good videos on benchmarks and stuff like that, definitely a good person to check out. He does some really good videos. He's getting really popular. But yeah, 175.7 frames per second with DLSS 3 at 4K Ultra. Ray tracing off, max settings. 175, wow. Almost 176 frames per second. And I don't know if that is an average too, right? And that's up.
I mean, I don't know what that game looks like.
I have no idea what that game looks like.
Does he ever show it?
I don't know if he does. Usually he does, but Microsoft Flight Simulator. There we go. That 153 frames per second. Microsoft Flight Simulator on 4K.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Like the 3090 and the 3090 is 76 frames with DLSS 2. Like, will 30 series get DLSS 3? Like, will it improve their performance? Like think about the guys that just paid a WAP load for that 3090. Like, I mean, even my 6900 XT was not cheap, but
yeah,
it wasn't a 3090 or a 3090 Ti, that's for sure. But like that, for those are just ridiculous numbers coming out. It's very interesting to see. I see what other games.
Isn't it? Do you think this is going to put AMD on the ropes?
I mean, it could. I mean, if you're thinking about, I think it depends on what you're thinking about or what you're hoping to, get, right?
Well, yeah, but at the price, I mean, opening numbers are going to be high for price point as they first run off the shelves. But I mean, once the price starts coming down, why would you want why wouldn't you want to go with that if you're putting a new machine together?
I think it depends on what you're hoping to do, right? Are you hoping to have that 4K? Like, are you playing at 8K? Well, you know what I mean? Are you planning on buying a new monitor, buying all this? Or are you just hoping to get what you can out of the out of your system? Like, are you planning on buying a 4K monitor? Are you planning on going that extreme?
Everything's going to come down in price eventually. I mean, there's going to be cheap 4K monitors out there.
I mean, there already are. I mean, if you just get 60 hertz, you're looking at what, $400 for a monitor, $300 for a 4K monitor.
That's not horrible for a single monitor. I mean, obviously, if you're a gamer, you might not want the 60, but
it's that trade-off. Do you want the 60 hertz or do you want 144? I mean, if this kind of makes it worth it to play it competitively, but you're never going to get guys gaming competitively at 4K, right? Like, if you're playing to be top notch, you're not going to game at 4K.
Well, now you could.
Well, think about
if you're able to get that kind of frames, you're already getting an advantage over somebody who's not getting that kind of frames with a lesser card. You're gonna see them pop around. You're gonna pop around corners before they even see you, because your frame rate's gonna, or they're gonna pop around a corner and you're gonna see them before they realize that they've gone around the corner, because you're seeing them at a faster rate.
Yeah, but I mean, like when guys are playing competitively, we talked about this last time. Is that you're playing at 960p, right? You've downscaled your resolution, so you've stretched the hitboxes, and you're playing at 360 hertz or whatever. Like,
Well, yeah, but would you have to continue doing that now?
I think you still
You
would.
you were doing that so that you could get the extra frame rate. So now instead of playing at 4K, now you're just going to play at 1080p. Like your exchange rate is still going to be come out on top, I think. I don't think if you have a card that's going to be able to do 4K at almost 175 frames, then why not just drop it to 1080? You're getting a better quality picture. Maybe it's not as stretched, but at least you're still going to manage to have a higher frame rate at that level.
I think it will come down to how the hitboxes react at 4K versus how the hitboxes react at 960, right? Because if you're getting a bigger hitbox out of it, I think that's why they play at that stretch rate, is to get a little bit that hitbox a little bit wider, that head's a little bit bigger, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So if there was a way to translate the game's hitboxes from each resolution without having a change, you know what I mean? Like if I'm playing at 4K, my hitbox is, always going to be the same.
And to be fair, it's not against rules in tournaments. I mean, if it ever does, like I personally don't like stretch res graphics. I think it's a silly addition. But if they start making it a rule that you don't need it because of these cards and their abilities, then I mean, maybe we'll see the end of 960 tournament play.
Would be interesting. I mean, I want to watch it I want to play at the best. Like that's why I like 4K. Is I like to see a nice clear picture. I don't care if I finish first or second or last or whatever. It's no skin off my back. I just want to. If I'm going to take the time to sit down and play, I want to enjoy the picture I'm looking at. I want to be immersed in what I'm looking at. I don't want to be like, oh, I need to frag every last dude here, so I gotta win, and it's just not me. I mean, yes, there are people out there, and that's perfectly fine. That's what they do, and that's, like... But I mean, we've talked about even streamers don't stream at 1080p.
Well, yeah, so the streamers are locked, though, at like Twitch doesn't stream faster better than 980, 920, whatever it is. So there's no point in doing 4K because it's not going to translate into your stream anyways. So you may as well do it at the highest you can get.
Yeah, I mean, most people downscale. They'll downscale their stream and play at 4K, right? So I mean, recording videos, I'm going to record at, well, if I ever get a capture card, being cheap, but... Have you started playing Overwatch 2?
I did. I'm not sure how many hours I have in. Let me just take a look. I've played a few hours. Does it tell me anywhere quickly how much I have played? It doesn't. I guess I would have to get into the game to find out how many hours I have in it. I've done a pretty good amount of hours so far. Definitely over 15 hours, I think. So it's been interesting. I think there's there was a graphics update. It's gone from a little less cartoony to a little more realism, I think. Not by far, but it has. And I think the dynamics have changed quite a bit. People are still playing like you have two tanks. So we'll see how it goes in the next few weeks. I mean, we're still pretty early. It's only been out 9 days. So I mean, there's going to be a learning curve.
Yeah, for sure. Has the damage profile really, like, is it noticeable, like, having the one tank?
Um, I think the focus has shifted. I feel as a tank that I can get melted pretty quick when the opposing team focuses on me, much faster than in Overwatch 1, I feel. And I find now, especially in public matches, obviously, because you can't yell at your friends to, hey, come over and heal me, that the healers are focusing your DPS rather than the tanks, to allow the DPS to do more damage for a longer period of time. And because of that focus, I find that the tank is now kind of being forgotten when it comes to healing. So I main Diva on tank, or when I play tank, and often I'll have to go hunting for health packs because my healers are nowhere to be found. They're off with the DPS people instead of um, helping out on the front.
Right. Did you go through the DDoS attack there too?
I played it a bit opening day. I think I got an hour in opening day, and then I couldn't get on for the next couple of days because of the DDoS attack. And then a friend suggested switching to the EU servers. So I jumped on there, and I had the queue for wait times was almost non-existent, maybe 5 minutes or something. Played a few matches, got in all right, and then after the weekend, like after Saturday last weekend, it seemed pretty fine back on the NA servers. So I was back on there a few times.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I saw that right off the bat when when it first broke. I was like, oh, and Overwatch 2 is having a DDoS attack. I'm like, that's interesting. I figured everybody was done with their hatred of Blizzard, but apparently not. They still want them to burn in hell, so might as well DDoS attack them on the release of Overwatch 2. I mean, it's weird, right? Because you don't hear that for Call of Duty or anything like that, or for like Warzone 2, or Warzone, I should say. But
Yeah, well, I mean, those games aren't pushing against the hackers nearly as much
no,
as
definitely
Blizzard
not.
does.
Oh, there were some painful moments in Warzone. Oh man, so many painful moments. Is that guy hacking? Yes, he is. It's just not even.
Yeah, headshot from across the map
Yeah.
through 5 buildings.
What are you talking about? That was lag. That was all lag. There was nothing else happening there but lag. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to pick up Overwatch 2 yet. I don't even think I've downloaded it. But after hearing the DDoS incident, I was like, I can wait. I'll just wait till everything cools down and maybe everybody starts playing again. Are the queue times, like, how are the queue times for you playing ranked or non-ranked?
I'm just doing quick plays for now anyway. I haven't found it too bad. Once you kind of get into your first match, then the subsequent matches aren't that bad. No worse than Overwatch 1 anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's not so bad. And let me guess, the queue time for tank and healer is quite a bit less than DPS?
I mean, they still promote. They still have like the queue format they had from Overwatch 1, so you can queue up as tank, DPS, or healer, or a combination of the two, or two out of the three, or you can go flex and do any of them. And they still reward you for certain selection, like tank or healing support. So that's still there, but with only one tank, it's still much faster queue times for tanks and support. But I didn't find it that bad with DPS.
They did away with loot boxes, though, right?
Yeah, they've gone the battle pass route.
So what do you get
where they want to make their money?
If you what do you get if you queue as tank? Like, what's your reward for queuing as tank?
What was it? Was it Blizzard credits or something like that?
Is it coins to
you
like buy
get
skin?
skins or stuff? Yeah.
I guess that's not so
I
terrible.
think that's what it was.
Yeah. Is there an autofill feature or anything like that? Whereas you queue up as tank, like if you just queue up as DPS, do they autofill you to tank or anything like that yet, or no?
Meaning if you queue up as DPS, then you play as DPS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
But
wasn't
like I
sure.
said, you can select, like when I queue up, I generally select tank and DPS, and it'll put me into whichever one pops up first.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, League of Legends has a system where you can, if you queue up as two roles, and then you get autofilled into a third role by sheer madness. You actually get autofill protected for the next 2 games, I think, after, so that you can play the role you wanted to play to begin with. I wasn't sure if they had that kind of style feature going into Overwatch 2 or not. If they were thinking of implementing it, so. Cool. I'm glad that they like. Does the game feel any better or no? Like, do you like the 5v5 or do you prefer the old style?
I'm gonna say the jury is still out. I don't mind the fast pace of the game. I do find it can be a lot faster. I mean, there was the odd match where you'd steamroll in Overwatch 1 and you just plow right through it. But I find that can happen a little quicker in this because for starters, there's less players on the opposing team, so that's one less person that you have to worry about taking down. I mean, your DPSers can be taken out in 2 shots. Your tank with sustained barrage, I could be down in less than 30 seconds.
Right.
So you really got to watch your health a lot more in Overwatch 2, I think.
Oh, that's good. Cool. Have you seen any of the updates for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 yet? Have you taken a
No, I
look at
haven't
anything?
paid any attention to it.
Oh man, I've been following some of the stuff that have been coming out, and I think the game is starting to look just actually starting to look fantastic. I'm really starting to like the how it's coming along and the graphics that are coming out for it and stuff like that. I'm interested to see if there will be like a Warzone 2 on this updated gameplay, especially with how it looks and because all of the weapons and stuff like that just are looking really nice. Like the attention to detail is really starting to look. I mean, I'm starting to like it. I'm like, okay, I'm willing to play that. I don't know if I'm willing to play it, pay $80 to play it. I wouldn't go that far, but I'm definitely like the 4K gameplay. Oh yeah, more ads. Is looking really, really, really good. Oh, another ad! Yay! Lucky them. They get 2 ads out of us for free.
Just trying. It is 80. Was it 80 or 89? I think it's $89.
Is it $89?
I think so. I'm just quickly looking it up. I mean, Canadian prices, right? And then on top of that, you get $89.99.
Like,
and then on top of that, they probably charge on now that new MasterCard or that new credit card charge that we get.
That is very true. See if I can put this on 4K. But yeah, it's looking really, really slick. I'm really liking the attention to detail on all the weapons and stuff like that. And I mean, it's still going to be a Call of Duty game. It's still going to be like that is
be a little arcadey.
Looking just real nice.
Look at the stitching in the glove. Oh my gosh.
Right? Like just incredibly well, like they've really put a lot of attention to detail into it. I mean, shit like that you don't care, right? Like when you're playing, you're not going to notice the stitching in the glove, but it's just something that I think really stands out about how they're doing with how they're coming along. So like the watch okay, the watch doesn't say the exact time, I'm done. That's it. I quit. No, I'm not paying $90. He's not telling me the exact time it is right now. But yeah, no, I'm really impressed with where they're going with it, and I'm interested in seeing what a potential Warzone 2 will look like if it comes out with these same graphics. I mean, we always get the fun PC versus Xbox versus PS5 and auto aim assist and stuff like that, and I think it'd be frustrating at times, but
I just heard a little bit of a tangent. There's a game that doesn't allow for aim assist for console players when playing against PC.
really.
Where did I hear this today?
I gotta see this. No aim assist.
It's not Warzone.
Is it Overwatch?
It might be Overwatch.
Overwatch 2 console players displeased to find aim assist disabled during PC crossplay.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Good.
That's kind of amazing for me, right?
That is
for them
fantastic.
to step up and do something like that.
Okay, I might play now. Like, that is fantastic.
That's been like all the way back into Battlefield, early Battlefield games that they've had aim assist, and then to see, I didn't even know that they didn't do aim assist in Overwatch. So I thought that was pretty cool.
While Blizzard was preoccupied with effectively turning Overwatch 2 off and back on again last night, and accidentally made a third of its heroes temporarily unplayable in an effort to deal with issues impacting just 2 players. Disabling of aim assist for console players in crossplay matches with others on PC. If that stays that way, and that's not just one of those, yeah, that's amazing, because that, I mean, at that point, you're going to have people not play crossplay, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Which they want to aim assist versus aim assist, that's fine. But when PC players don't have aim assist, then it really cheapens the playing field a bit, in my opinion, anyway. So, I mean, I was happy to hear this news.
I'm 100% would be happy for that. Like, it's not. It sucks. Like, yeah. Warzone with aim assist guys with sniper rifles on the tower, and you're like, how is this? This isn't fair. This is not. I'm running across the field and sprinting. You aim assist, boom, it leads for you and shoots me. I've got to do all the mental mathematics myself. You're like, and being frustrated and hating what's going on. So no, that's a fantastic idea, and I honestly would. I mean, considering Call of Duty is an Activision Blizzard product as well, maybe they'll pull that and bring it into Warzone as well.
Is it still? I thought they separated.
No, didn't Microsoft buy them both or something? Microsoft brought.
Well, I think it's being reviewed. I don't think they've. I don't think they've done it yet.
Can't spell right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so Call of Duty is still on there. For some reason, I thought they pulled Call of Duty completely out.
No, Microsoft to acquire Activision Blizzard. Yeah, that was in January though, so. It's still being it's under regulators apparently, so
yeah,
it'd be interesting to see though if Call of Duty does stay as a Blizzard game. Maybe we will see that. Maybe we'll see Call of Duty have that same feature. Let's call that a feature.
Call it a feature.
As a PC player, I'm calling it a feature because that sounds about right. That sounds like a feature to me. Like that's a feature for me to play. Like, you want me to play your game? Sure, turn off aim assist for console players and multiplayer. I'm in. Yeah. That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's great. There we go. That is our official petition for Warzone with no aim assist. Yeah. Anything else we got there in the news that sparked some interest? And
I mean, there was a couple of other stories here and there. Bruce Willis has apparently denied selling his digital likeness for use in movies.
That's amazing.
So no deep fakes.
No, gee, oh my god, that's amazing. A new report from the Telegraph reveals that Willis has sold the rights to digitally recreate his likeness, allowing the actor to appear in film and television projects without ever having step foot on the set. That's October 2nd?
What was this one? It might have been the 4th.
The 4th of October?
13 days ago.
13 days ago. There's a couple that say he did and a couple say he didn't.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, that actually sets a new precedent moving forward in general, right? Think about if you've got a famous actor and that famous actor decides that before they die, they want to have their face digitally edited into a database. You could potentially have actors after they die continually be in movies after that, right?
Well, I mean, that's kind of what they did with Carrie Fisher, right? For Star Wars?
Yeah, and they kind of did that with the other actors that had died before the next movies were made as well. In Rogue One. Yeah. In Rogue One, they had the general there that they had AI'd.
Yeah. So there's an update to the PC Gamer story. It says Bruce Willis's team shared a statement with Hollywood Reporter that it has no partnership or agreement with this DeepFakes company. That's the company that said that they had signed the deal with them. So they basically denied all earlier reports and whatnot. And then the actual company, DeepFakes, a spokesperson for them came out and confirmed that Willis's digital likeness cannot be sold, and that the rights to Bruce Willis's image, his digital twin, belong to Bruce Willis and him only.
Wow, that's just... I don't even know where to go with that.
Well, did you see there was a movie, I think it was on, it's either Netflix or Amazon Prime, and it was a British movie where these hacktivists basically framed a soldier for assaulting a female using deepfake footage. So him and this girl met at a rave kind of a party thing. They left together, and in the moments of a bus passing by a street camera, because in the UK they have cameras all over the place. So in the moment of this one of their buses passing in front of the camera, they're on the other side of the bus, and in the reality was that he kissed her goodnight or something like that and walked away, but they then went back and shot the scene again, and only this time they shot it so he beat her up and basically killed her.
Interesting.
And so they basically framed him so that he would take it to court, and in the court case they would come up and say, hey, it was all fake, we faked it, this, you guys gotta be able to fight this kind of stuff from happening in the real world. And it was a really good show. I guess it was a show, it wasn't a movie, but it was like a mini series.
Yeah, The Capture.
I think so.
When a British soldier is charged with a crime, the tenacious young detective handling the case begins to uncover a multi-layered conspiracy.
Yeah.
See if it says anything else about it. Doesn't. An ex-soldier conviction for a murder in Afghanistan is overturned due to flawed video evidence. He returns home for a free man to his young daughter. But when CCTV footage from a night out in London comes to light, Sean's life takes a shocking turn, and he must soon fight for his freedom once again. Drafted to investigate Sean's case, she quickly learns the truth. Matter of perspective. Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that, and I mean, I'm sure that's something that's going to come up it's interesting, right? Like that this is starting to come out. Like people are starting to realize, like, we're in this culture where we cancel people as soon as they do something wrong, right? Like, or as soon as we don't agree with what has happened or what this transpired or what they've said. Like, I'm not saying that there isn't people that have done bad things out there and don't deserve to have that chance, but when you can now fake it or start faking this stuff, because you have me and you sitting here on a YouTube channel and they take our images and then, oh, guess what? They've overlapped whatever the hell they want us to say, or they've now taken our likeness from this video and decided, hey, look, especially being, you know, me ex-military, you ex-military from a long time ago, like all that kind of stuff. And, you know, oh, look at that, we put his face on a uniform and he's saying these things. Like, it's like, but I didn't say that. So it's interesting to see a show like actually bringing that to light. And I can understand why. Again, it's a good thing in the sense that maybe we'll still have actors that, you know, are beloved actors that we've always loved to see and all that. But at the same time, you now have this issue, again, an ethical issue where people will take advantage of other people to get a little bit of money, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's interesting to see, especially seeing both sides of the coin, where Bruce Willis doesn't want to, you know, have it happen, and some other people maybe want to. Like, I wonder if that was something that happened with Carrie Fisher, where they're like, so if anything happens to you in filming these 3 movies, do we have permission to use you as a, you know, an AI generated image?
I absolutely think they did that. For sure, because it wouldn't be the first time. It happened to what's his face? The guy who played Chekhov in the new version, the new versions of Star Trek.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember.
I can't remember something.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah, I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Chekhov.
But he died between the filming of movies, and they had to really change the movie because they obviously couldn't use him anymore. So and that was a Disney at the time. Or no, it's Paramount that owns that, or CBS or something.
Anton Yelchin? Anton Yelchin?
Yeah, Anton Yelchin. Yeah. So I expect after something like that happens, well, and I mean it happened even earlier too with the Fast and Furious movies, where the main guy, Paul Walker, died in a car accident. So to be able to do that, it's probably in the contracts. If something happens to you during the shooting of this film, that we are able to use your digital likeness to complete the film. I'm sure that's probably in the contracts now. It's probably standard in a movie contract for the big actors anyway.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe like one of those later on in life things too. They want to make sure that they get their full, I mean, so much production going into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to see.
And I mean, certain movies like Star Wars would be, you can't just get anybody to play Princess Leia, right? Like that's like you said in Rogue One at the end, you couldn't have anybody else on the ship taking those Death Star plans, right? Because we know that it went to her. Everybody's known that for decades. So you had to have her there. It's just how to manage to do that.
Yeah, and it would be like kind of like having a Back to Future spin-off, right? Like another Back to the Future nowadays. Seeing Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox together at was it Comic-Con or TwitchCon or something?
That's one of the big conventions.
Yeah, one of the big conventions together, reunited. It'd be like something like that, right? Where you couldn't have anybody else play Marty McFly. You couldn't have anybody else play the Doc. You know what I mean? Like, it would be something that would be like, you just couldn't do it. It's another one of those iconic playing, and I mean, even looking forward to the next Indiana Jones. You know, like you can't
How,
have.
how do you get a what is it? What's Harrison Ford now? Jumping
He's
he's
getting up there
his
too.
70s, 80s.
Oh yeah, like
I mean, the guy. I hope. I mean, the guy's a great guy and all. I'm sure he's done a lot of good, but I mean, he's landing on taxiways. He's
82,
he's
80
getting
years
up
old.
there.
80 years old.
80 years old. So I mean, he's not a young man anymore. Patrick Stewart, same thing. Patrick Stewart's I think he's doing the last season of Picard right now,
Yeah.
or it's going to be airing soon. These guys are not young spring chickens anymore. They can't just keep pumping these movies out in their 80s. Like how do you, I don't even know how he's doing in Indiana Jones 5.
Right? Like, how is he even upright? I don't get
I
it. I mean, he was, I mean, born in 1942, right? He was old when he was old, so it's, you know, he was old when he did the movies, and now he's just like, I don't quite understand it. But I
yeah.
mean, the guy that they got him to play his son, what's his, in number 4. Oh, who was
Crystal
it?
Skull.
Yeah, and the Crystal Skull.
That was that was the guy in Transformers.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf, yeah. I mean, for all the good parts, I guess he did. I just couldn't buy into him turning into Indiana Jones. Like when Harrison Ford picks up the hat at the end of of Crystal Skull, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like it's just not the same. Like you just can't. You can make the franchise again, and you can do an Indiana Jones movie, but it's still not Indiana Jones. You can't call it Indiana Jones. It's no,
Yeah.
you know, you just don't have that iconic moment of like the dog was called Indiana. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't buy Shia LaBeouf as being Indiana Jones in the next movie. That's just my take on it, though. So
Yeah. I mean, this has got to be the final in the series. I can't see them doing anything without him.
no, I don't see him doing anything. I don't see him doing anything either. After that, I don't see them doing that at all. So, but yeah, I mean, it's good to get recording again. I mean, just a string of
Unfortunate instances.
unfortunately, like we had a good recording and then set to record again, and then I just have had a string of bad luck there for the week and a half. So it's good to get recording again. Good to talk. I mean, we went golfing in between there too, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a excellent day of golf, if
Definitely
I say so
was.
myself. I don't know what was going on, but the drives were relatively straight, and the putting was pretty decent.
Oh, there's a couple of really good putts in there for sure.
I'm happy I got a birdie.
There you go. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if this weather keeps up at around the 10-degree range, we might actually be able to go once more in November there before they close up.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, usually, I mean, it's pretty wet out there. I don't know how much rain you got today, but we got a downpour.
Yeah.
There was like windows rattling in the office building today, kind of thing.
Yeah, it was pretty bad up here too. I mean, and it looks like rain for like another week, so they might be done for sure. Can hope. Maybe it'll stay around 10 degrees with a little bit of no rain, and then maybe get a game in the first weekend of November there.
We'll see.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Stranger things have happened.
Golfing the first week of November in Canada? Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Cool, man. Well, that was a lot of fun. I gotta head out. I got an early morning because yay, CrossFit starts at 6 a.m. Yeah. It gives me something to do.
Well, as your class starts and my alarm clock goes off, I'll be thinking about you.
No, you won't. You'll be like, do I even want to get out of bed? That I don't.
The boss isn't going into work today. I'm staying home.
I'm done. Okay, guys. Again, hit that like button, subscribe. It's really great to see that we're slowly growing. I know it's slow, but that's okay. Thanks for joining us this week, and we'll catch you in the next one.
We appreciate all you. Have a good night.
Peace.